Good evening. It's now 6:35. We're calling the Planning and Zoning Board meeting to order. Would like everyone to please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance in a moment of silence. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. You may be seated. Can we call the roll, please? Thank you.
Board Member De La Sierra.
Present.
Board Member Fernandez.
Present.
Board Member Julia.
Present.
Board Member Leoncio.
Present.
Board Member Senra is absent. Vice Chairwoman Matos.
Present. Thank you.
Chairwoman Yanes.
Present.
You have quorum.
Thank you. The first item to address would be the approval of the minutes from the November 7th, 2023 meeting.
Make a motion to approve. I second it.
I think we could do this unanimously. All those in favor of approval say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed say nay. Seeing none opposed, the minutes are approved and the motion passes. Next up, we have public comments.
Yes, so anybody here wishing to speak for public comments or anybody online, please come up and unmute yourselves. You have 3 minutes to speak and just please state your name and address for the record. I don't think she's not here for public comments, so I
Okay.
think there's no public comments.
Okay. So seeing nobody come forth on Zoom or here in person, we're going to close public comments. The next item for which we came for, we had this meeting is for the quasi judicial. I don't know if we need to go through it again or if we can proceed with doing a motion to reopen.
The Madam Chair, the proper motion, I think, would be to take the item from the table.
So I would put a motion to take the item out from table so we could pick up where we left off.
I'll second that motion.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? None opposed. It passes.
Madam Chair, since this item is being picked up from the table, and according to the minutes that were just approved, there was a motion by Board Member De La Sierra, which was seconded and voted by this board to have a member of the building department here present. Unfortunately, due to certain scheduling, Mr. Anise was unavailable to be here. However, he has presented an affidavit, which I have sent to all of you, and I can give one to the applicant if you like. You can come here, yeah, so you can see it as well. That's before you, and if you be so inclined, I'd ask if you can accept this by motion in lieu of Mr. Anise's testimony.
I'll make a motion to accept it.
I'll second. Do we want to call a roll or? Please call a roll, please.
Board Member De La Sierra.
Yes.
Board Member Fernandez.
Yes.
Board Member Leoncio. Board Member Julia.
Yes.
Vice Chairwoman Matos.
Yes.
Chairwoman Yanes.
Yes.
The motion passes.
So then we'll submit that now into evidence.
It also would probably be proper that all those that will be providing testimony today be resworn in.
So everybody that's going to testify, please stand up and raise your right hand. Do you swear to say the truth and only the truth, so help you God? You may be seated.
And finally, and then I'll be quiet, is if anyone has had any ex-parte communication during these last couple of weeks, please put it on the record at this time.
There doesn't seem to be any.
Okay.
So I think we had the motion and the second to take it off the table. Do we want to have a discussion on the variance application?
I believe that he would, the applicant was gonna let us know about, getting the approval from the association. I don't know if he did or not.
Can you come forward, please? And when you come forward again, if you could state your name and your address. Thank you. Turn on the mic.
Hello, how's everyone doing? My name is Carlos Perez. I live in 14412 Rosewood Road. So I reached out to the HOA and she told me that she needed engineer drawings and plans for the approval of the pool. And I basically told her that there's no way that I can really have engineer plans or drawings made until I know exactly like what I'm allowed to do, or because if not, then I would just have to spend money and make them again for no reason. So, yeah, that's what she told me.
Okay,
But she said either way, I can't get a building permit unless I have her approval. So, and she also has to put it in front of her board. So that's what I got from emailing her.
yeah, they meet once a month.
Huh?
They meet once a month,
Okay.
that board.
Is the need for the HOA approval a requirement?
Not that I'm aware of. It's in most of the applications, it's requested and the person has to sign off that they're going to seek approval or they're going to ask for approval, but the actual approval itself is not an item that is necessary for the building permit to be approved or not.
Thank you. Do we have any further questions for the applicant? I have a question, Lorenzo. I read the affidavit. Are there any citations on the property?
At this time, there are no open citations on the property that I'm aware of.
And the expired permit, are you gonna be,
Yeah, I have to address that. It's just that the gate, my opening and closing gate, they did it too high. So I have to get it removed, cut down, and then reinstalled. So
the gate is up, you just haven't filed?
yeah, the gate's up, but when I went for final, they didn't pass me because it was too high. So just the door, I have to send it out, get it cut, and then to the proper size so I can get the final.
Okay,
Through the chair, that's for the Dura fence. There's 3 other open permits cited in this affidavit. Are those being closed out as well, or what's the status on that?
Well, that was one of those things that I was waiting to get all I need is just the finals. But if I have to submit a plan revision now because I have to run electricity or do anything that I have to do, then I'm gonna have to open up a whole new set of plans for those that main permit that I have on my house. Which I'm assuming I'm going to because there's no power or water anywhere near the back of the house. So
And none of those are for the roof. We had established that
that's closed.
the roof and the trusses and all that was already done and approved from our last meeting.
Yes.
would you be willing to reduce your pool and make changes to your plan in
Absolutely.
order to have it approved?
Absolutely. I was even thinking that if maybe the deck is too big, like I could do turf for better drainage, or I mean, I'm open to whatever you guys suggest.
Okay, no, so that when we discuss it, we know that you would be willing
Yeah, I'm willing.
to make changes. Okay,
Just to follow up on that, you're willing to reduce the size of the pool and also the size of the deck that you're requesting, correct?
Correct.
Thank you.
I don't know if this is a question to staff or, so there's 2 things here. One that says Lake Martha, like a little schematic. And then there's one that says staff comments in purple. Can we go over to make sure what one thing means? Because in one, there's an 18-foot setback in the back, but staff comments is saying there's 21 feet. So I'm just wondering, and then
It's actually 18 on the proposed deck. I had a typo and then I think Lorena realized
Okay,
and
so-
she,
So the proposed encroachment is 18 feet. So that's where,
correct.
even though technically that would just mean that then you would have 20 in the back, but it's saying 21 feet. So I guess it's a little bit.
Yeah.
And the way this is drawn, right now from the edge of your house to the tow line, there's only about 2 feet.
Correct.
We have 2 feet there. Make 3 feet here. How close are you gonna do? So you would do the pool about 4 feet away from your house?
I think the code is like from 3 to 5 is a minimum. It's either 3 or 5. I'm not really too sure,
Because
but
I thought it was 5 feet.
It depends on the foundations. If they build a deeper foundation, a retaining wall, they can put it closer. The architect
Yeah.
could answer that, Mr. Leoncio much
How
better
close
than
can
I,
you
but
get the?
if you build a retaining wall up against the house, you can build it closer.
Mr. Leoncio, if you
Turn
can
on
turn your mic.
please. Your mic.
Turn your mic on.
Turn on your mic.
Thank you.
I mean, he has a peculiar site overlooking the townhomes. And in my opinion, what he is requesting and what he is looking for, it's not obtrusive. In my opinion, it's acceptable.
So just to clear that though, you believe that the way it is, the request for variance, the way it is, not even necessarily that there's an adjustment to it, the way it is because of his peculiar lot, you believe it's acceptable?
I don't think he can do any better than what he has done. Other than, reducing the size of the pool.
No, that's on the table.
Then reducing the size of the pool is an alternate.
What would a standard size pool be? Is it 12? I know it varies.
Because
12 by
Yeah.
15 normal, 12 by 16 standard ones.
But really, we have more issues with the length than the width.
we
No,
have
the
more
width
issues with
is
the
the
width.
issue.
Yeah.
You know, the biggest
Sorry.
issues
Versus
the
the
width.
length, the width versus the length.
Now, the other thing too is on this drawing, even though it says an infinity edge, it makes it seem as if in addition to the infinity edge, you have about 5 feet. That's why I guess this is not to
Scale.
scale.
Yeah.
Because I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, so over here I got 4, but over there it looks like I got 6
Yeah.
underneath the pool. So this is like, there's no way this is all fitting
Yeah.
in 18 feet.
I mean, I think behind the infinity edge,
It's just a,
there can't be a deck, right? Because there's a catch basin.
Correct.
So, I
But
mean-
that's your intent to do it as an infinity edge.
right, correct. So the pool would be like closer to the edge of the actual deck or.
and so I mean, that's why I mean, here it seems. The thing is that at least for me, it looked visually like if this whole area is more than 18 feet, because it is, if you look at it visually, but you're asking for 18 feet. So what that is leaving you is basically 20 feet from the edge of your concrete wall to the edge of, call it the pool, call it the deck, call it whatever you want. Which is, I think, what, Board Member Leoncio was saying, that's kind of, this is about as close as you could get. I think the visual is making, at least in my mind, it was looking like, wait a second, this is a lot more than 18 feet, but
Yeah.
you're clear that if we do move to agree to 18 feet, it's 18 feet pool, deck, the whole 9 yards. I mean,
I agree. So it's encroaching 16 feet past the tie line, the edge of the deck or the.
no, well, if you're asking for an 18 feet encroachment,
Correct.
you have 2 from your wall, so that'll give you 20 feet to work with.
Gotcha.
The issue of how you're gonna do the pool, how close you're gonna do it is up to you and the contractor and somebody that actually knows more about that part, but.
I mean, yeah, I could shrink the pool, do whatever I need to do to.
Yeah, because when you do the infinity edge, you may have to, your pool may not be 15 feet wide.
Yeah, it's like 2.5 feet, I think.
It's gonna reduce.
Yeah.
Through the chair, would you be willing to do a 10 by 16?
Pool?
Yes,
Yes,
you would.
yes.
Okay,
10 by 16?
10 by 16.
The length, I mean, the length isn't really an issue, I think. But I mean, it's up to you guys.
Well, it's the amount of deck that you're gonna be putting
Oh,
down
okay.
also.
Yeah.
Reducing the deck.
I
So
can
you
even
have
do
less-
the turf or whatever.
So you have less coverage. I was over there just after the rainstorm and the water was up the grass on your property. It was up above the decks in the townhouses, because I have a townhouse there. But
Correct.
it was really high in the water. So that's another issue that it has to be dealt with there. So 10 by 16 you would be agreeable with? Okay.
Let me ask you, through the chair, if I may. There's, two pictures that you submitted to us last time with your neighbor. It looks like your neighbor's house has a pool within a cage.
Yeah. Yes.
Is there any way to figure out how much that area is from the house? I mean, because
That pool is approximately like, I would say maybe 15 feet from the lake. So it's even further than what I'm proposing. It's like almost there. Like if you look at the picture and you
that's what I was
see,
looking at.
and you see past the cage, there's like a little walkway and then the lake is right there.
Yeah, it doesn't face the
Yeah.
lake completely like your house
Correct,
does.
correct.
Your house faces the lake
Correct.
completely. This one's kind of more
On a corner.
It's not lakefront.
Yeah, well, that house has a lot of decks and it has a porta cachet that's way too close to the street. There's a lot of things
And a
that,
dock.
that can be looked at that house. We're not here to
Yeah.
to deal with that.
I mean,
I think the challenge is there's no other way to really do it. He's limited with that space that he has.
how wide are you, this is the whole width of your property? What you were planning to do in the back with the deck and the whole stuff?
The whole width of my house, taking into account the easements on both sides. Correct.
And presently your intent is to make that all flooring, right? That's your intent now.
At this
Pool
point, I
and
mean,
I think he
The
had
deck,
the
fire
deck was
pit.
gonna be like a depressed deck.
it could be a turf deck. I mean, I could put like.
but you were
small
trying to
things.
do like a sunken, like
Oh,
seating
that's
area,
just-
right?
Yeah, that's just in front of, like, if you look at my house, there's like a patio area. In front of that patio area, I was gonna do a sunken seating area to accommodate for the height requirements for my neighbor. So that was just a proposed like in-ground seating area.
Hmm.
If I may clarify something, the deck that he's showing is 900 and some square feet. That would be over the maximum of 225 that is allowed beyond the tie line. So that's something that needs to be somehow addressed as well.
When we do that calculation, deck is one thing, pool is another thing, so it
Correct.
would be two different things.
Correct, they're two different things.
And there's.
And he's
900.
allowed 225 feet already.
Correct.
I have another question to the chair. How are you gonna handle the slope? Because you have a pretty steep slope from the house down.
I checked it with a laser, and from my house being a 0 to the 18 feet out, it's only 12 inches of slope. So
No,
it's
but from the house to
from my
the
finished
water-
floor of my
to the
house
finished floor
to the
water-
edge of the infinity drain.
No, the
of-
water line. The
Oh,
water
to
line
the
of
water
lake.
line?
Water line of the lake.
Oh, on the survey.
It looks like it's about 4 feet.
On the survey it's 4 feet, but actually 18 feet out, which is where I stopped because of the level land. It's actually level 18 feet out. It's only 12-inch difference in slope. So that's why I proposed the infinity edge to accommodate for the drop in elevation at that spot.
So you understand the reason I'm asking you is because if there's nothing to hold the water back, the side of the pool, it can collapse into the lake. So you're gonna have to deal with that at some point. That's why I'm saying make it not as wide.
A retaining wall, maybe.
I said about a retaining wall before, so you have to put a deep retaining wall there. I know several pools that have collapsed into canals.
I guess the engineer would
No,
propose
I'm
that.
just wondering if you had discussed that with anybody or.
Yeah,
not.
yeah, I discussed a retaining wall too, and then grass area in the bottom. That's open for if needed. I figured since it was only 12 inches of slope, that the infinity edge drain the infinity edge pool,
It really.
it could slide, it
It's
could
4
slide.
feet. It's 4 feet. Oh. And how deep is your pool gonna be? 6 or 8?
Standard 6.
6?
Yeah.
So I mean. Got a lot of water. It's 8 pounds a gallon water.
Or maybe even if I need piles under the pool,
You may need to. You may need to. It's got something you're gonna have to address. The further out you go, the worse it is.
yeah.
Just to the town, to Susanna. I know Mr. Julia mentioned it, but this other drawing here, just to be clear, presently he's asking for the 18 feet encroachment, but what remains is 21. Correct? Because the one that says, just want to make sure there's 21 and then the square feet of deck is 920. Yep. Because it says, this one's right, it says staff comments in purple.
Madam Chair, just so that we're all clear, the variance application that is before you is for an encroachment,
Of the 18,
right? But it's not for a variance on the size.
right,
He's not asking for, that's not before you.
right. But just to clarify what remains pursuant to the survey, what he, from the 18-foot encroachment was left as 21 feet as opposed to this one, which says 18,
Correct.
right? It's 21.
It's 21 feet, yes. Yeah, that was a miscalculation on the drawing, which is why I corrected it.
Question, is the 21 to the riprap or to the property line?
To the seawall.
To
To
the
the
water,
riprap?
to the water
The
line, as-
concrete bags of riprap that you have sitting there at the edge,
to the water line as per the survey,
as per the survey.
which doesn't specify whether it's to the.
Okay, we're gonna call the meeting back to order. Sorry for the brief recess, but
Sorry.
do we have further
I ha-
questions?
Yeah, I have- so what I'm looking at is that in order trying to go between your survey and I'm looking at a survey dated 10/16/2023. If you do a straight line, you get 39.2 feet to the edge of the water. So if we use that number, the area in the back is 19 feet, not 21 feet.
Correct. On one side it's 19 and on the other side it's 21. If you see the 41 and
Right, because the other, I think the reason why that one is 41.7 is because it's in a straight line to begin with. It's
correct,
kind of a crooked line.
Mhm.
correct.
I mean. The way the variance is worded, it's an 18-foot encroachment. But it doesn't go over the 225 square feet and this and that.
Does
So-
not.
So. I guess obviously we could word it however we want, but we could either word it either way and it would be we could say 15 feet, 10 feet, 8 feet, 102 feet.
Or
And we
could-
don't have to
we could
discuss
say
the
no more
two
than
hundred and
so
twenty-five
many
square feet.
Square feet a deck, right?
Absolutely.
We can say no more than this amount of square feet a deck. If you look at that picture of the neighbor, there's a block wall, and it looks like a little walkway.
Right.
You can see that the top of the block is basically will be the level near the house.
Mhm.
And then you see down to the lake, it's about a 4-foot drop. That's what I was discussing,
Right.
that having to retain that pool from ending up, and that's what they've done here. They've built retaining walls. And I don't know if they pulled permits or not, but
I think I don't know if staff looked back, but I could have sworn when I was looking through this in some of the other variances, because I do remember the two variances that we had done, that they were kind of odd shaped corner lots. I think in one, we did 16 feet. I don't remember if that was something that I had read or,
In the variance that I submitted, you guys approved 16 feet.
16 feet, right? Yeah,
but that was just the corner of the.
right,
That was just the corner, and that wasn't all of us. There's
right. And
three
those
of
were
us
very
that are still
irregular
on the
lots.
board.
Those were
There's
very
only
irregular.
3 that were on the board at that time.
Right.
You all want to put it up for discussion through the chair?
I will, I
Yes,
have to
Make
create
a
a
motion
I think we have
for us
to-
Put it for discussion, so he doesn't have to stay.
We'd have
here
to have
so
a
long.
motion. no?
let's, do you want to put a motion just for the purpose now to either approve or disapprove, discuss it and then amend it?
I would make a motion to approve with changes.
What changes?
With changes to the sides, yeah, of the deck, and changes to the size of the pool.
Did you want to propose the 10 that you indicated before?
I can. I'll make a motion to approve a 10 by 16 pool with 400 square feet of deck. Guess I have to make the motion.
So.
Uh,
Can you say your motion again? So she can write down, I want to write down too.
That it's to approve a 10 by 16 pool with a 400 square
Square
foot
feet
deck.
of deck, because the town, I think, allows 225. Right.
I'll second it for
Or-
discussion purposes.
So that would give us an encroachment of 8 feet. Or no? Would it be 10 feet from, so it would be 10 feet encroachment instead of 18 feet
Well, it'd be a 10-foot wide pool,
encroachment?
so it has to be at
12.
least 2 to 3 feet off the house.
The encroachment
Min-
would be 12 feet.
12
And then
feet
he's
would be the
gonna need-
encroachment?
He's gonna need coping on the other side of that. That's why I said 400 square feet. of deck.
Mr. Sierra, the coping would be the infinity edge, the catch basin, which is allowed beyond the tie line, so that would
Okay.
not be part of the variance. That's
Okay.
allowed.
That's allowed. to do.
That's allowed.
So he'll be
yeah.
able to at least, because if you do 10 feet and then you take away the 2 feet for the infinity edge, then he only has an 8-foot pool. So he could do the drop
10
off
feet,
beyond
and
the,
then the infinity edges, she just said with doesn't fall.
The basin, the catch basin doesn't count into the encroachment portion. It's just the edge of the water.
okay.
Right.
So we're basically doing a 12-foot encroachment and limiting total decking to 400 square feet.
It would be 14 feet minimum if he has 2 feet, but even more than that, you need at least 3 feet at the edge of the house.
So you want to say
You don't
14,
want 2 feet is nothing. You
So he
need at
could
least 3 feet to be
have
able to walk
the
around.
possibility of a 12.
Right. I mean, I would, a friendly amendment would be if we basically allow an encroachment of 14 feet and allow him to, if it's 10 by 16 or 10 by 12 or 12 by 14, let give them some flexibility and limit it overall to the 400 square feet. That's a friendly amendment that I'm
I-
suggesting.
I accept that.
I would
Friendly
second,
amendment.
yeah, I would accept that because I think that would give him the opportunity to then have, you could do a 12 if it makes more sense or it
You want to do a
just
lap
within-
pool? I
yeah.
don't know. You know.
Yeah.
Can you repeat that? Because I did not get it.
So my amendment would be to discuss it instead of saying a specific size pool is basically to say a variance to accept 14-foot encroachment beyond the tow line with a total permitted decking of 400 square feet, where 225 would be within the code.
I'll second it for discussion.
You understand what I'm saying? Or it's basically giving him 14 feet instead of 18 feet. And
Correct.
instead of
of,
whatever 900 square feet of deck, 400 square feet of deck,
yeah, so instead of defining how to do the pool, it's defining
Right.
the encroachment.
the
Right.
encouragement.
Yeah.
And that'll give you the
That
flexibility.
amendment is fine with me.
You have to vote on the
Yeah.
amendment.
Yeah, so let's vote on the amendment.
Board Member Fernandez,
Yes.
Board Member Julia,
Yes.
Board Member De La Sierra,
Yes,
Board Member Leoncio,
Yes,
Vice Chairwoman Matos,
Yes.
Chairwoman Yanes.
Yes.
The amendment passes.
So now that it's amended, we have to vote on the motion. Unless we want further discussion
And conditions.
and conditions.
and conditions.
You mentioned the seawall.
I'd like to see you bring the property into code. You know,
You mean the sidewalk on the side?
yeah, it would.
No
'cause
problem,
The reason is because you're shedding water to the neighbor.
no problem.
And we have a terrible percolation problem already, and we're creating an incredible heat island. Us, all of us.
No problem. Can I replace that concrete with turf? The 3 feet that I'm past the allowable?
I don't know if it's allowed by the town yet.
Okay.
The AstroTurf you're talking about, the fake grass.
Yeah, like the grass is drainable, you put sand underneath it.
Are we
I'll-
just-
I'll
Or
tell you, I'll tell
pavers?
you this.
Are we
thing.
talking about artificial turf
Pavers on sand?
Yeah.
or
So-
grass?
I'll tell you this about grass. Grass, natural grass will absorb a 5-inch rain in an hour. The turf will not. So natural grass is the very best thing to do. I know a lot of people are trying to do the turf. But then after you put it in, when it wears out, you got to get rid of it in a dump. And you got to put more of this on the property where regular grass just continues to grow. And I know what you're talking about because a lot of people ask me to install it and I refuse.
It's just cleaner.
No, I refuse it. And it's hotter. When you step on it with a bare foot, you step on a piece of regular glass and a piece of that material, it burns your feet, especially little kids.
As of right now, properties on the water edge are not allowed to have artificial turf because it percolates into the lake. So
To the lake.
artificial turf is not allowed beyond the tie line on any property facing a water lake.
But I think he was
as of today.
discussing on the side of the house,
I'm just
on the property line.
throwing that out because
Okay.
yeah.
No, it's,
To the chair, to Mr. De La Sierra, board member. You'd mentioned seawall.
yes. Well, it's not seawall, it's a retaining wall that he's gonna have to do, similar to what the neighbor has done. You see it on that picture. There's a picture there and it shows a block wall that's, I don't know it. I just saw it in the picture. I would assume that that block wall is full of concrete and it's retaining back the dirt from falling into the lake. And dirt's on that picture right there. You see it there? And then it's got like a walkway and then they've done another wall, which again, is not the code. And it's not for us to decide what's going on with that property, but that's what they're doing. They're retaining all the dirt back from falling into the lake. That's down on our agenda to,
Right, agree. I just wanted to follow through on the thought. Thank you.
yes, ma'am.
So I think for purposes of today, what we have before us, the two variances that we amended on, at least what was proposed, which is the encroachment of 14 feet and the limitation of the flooring that would allow more percolation, because I think initially 900 is a lot. I think that would be appropriate to allow you to have the pool, but also have more space for grass and not cover it completely with concrete.
Question. Can I put the seating area in those 400 feet?
You could put it wherever
Yes.
you want. You
put
just
whatever
can't
you-
exceed that.
Sounds good.
You just couldn't exceed that. So if you want to put that there, you would just, somewhere else wouldn't be able to have it.
No problem.
400 square feet.
Yeah, it's enough. It's enough.
Yeah, you could do
Large.
grass in the other area,
Yeah.
like the other side of the pool or whatever.
Right.
10 by 20, I mean,
You
10
could
by
do-
40, 20 by 20.
You could do a design,
a
split it
lot.
in between, you know,
Yeah.
you could split it in between. And, you know,
Yeah.
it's your aesthetic, but
Okay.
So are we adding the condition of correcting the violation on the side of the 3 feet? Or do we have to do an
if they were
amendment to the-
correct, the violation is gonna allow for percolation in between the
Right.
two residences, which is by code, we're
I
not
agree.
allowed to shed water to a neighbor.
Anyway. If,
I-
if
I
code
gotta
enforcement
cut-
goes there,
No,
they're
and I-
gonna do inspections.
No, I'm assuming I
You're
gotta
gonna be
cut that
cited
all
for
up to
it,
run
so-
the plumbing anyway. So I
Yeah.
mean,
You're gonna have to deal with all
Well,
of
it's
you're
the
gonna have to
side
deal with it.
yard, the main deal.
yeah,
The
but
one side-
my water's in the front on that side, so I'm assuming I'm gonna have to cut that out to run
Anyway.
the plumbing and everything else through there.
Yeah.
Probably the gas too.
Code
I'm not
enforcement is
sure.
gonna.
Or wherever you
cite
put your
on it.
equipment, most likely on the side of the property.
So
You're okay with that?
yeah, I'm okay with it.
So in the condition that we've added, Mr. De La Sierra, is to close that existing permit, to correct it.
Yeah, close all your existing permits, yes.
Mhm.
We definitely need that.
Yeah.
I think that would be an amendment to the motion to add.
Probably.
I would second it, call it for a vote.
Yes.
You want me to roll call or are you
call.
gonna do voice?
Yeah.
Roll call.
Wait,
Well,
Roll
Let's do
call?
a roll call,
Be-
please.
Before you take the roll real quick, I just wanted to state just for the record that this is a really tough one for me. I mean, I'm conflicted. The town, we're always talking about, and you mentioned it, Board Member De La Sierra, about the water being able to percolate and we're having an issue with flooding. I definitely believe that property owners should have a right to enjoy their property how they want to. Your neighbors have a pool. I think that you have a pool. Unfortunately, you have so much square footage on your property that it's hard for me to accept it. I will see how it pans out, but I believe that, you'll probably likely get the vote, but it's going to be a no for me.
And I agree with you. It's very difficult. If I was gonna have my personal opinion, I wouldn't approve it. But I can't be personal about it. I have to try to be neighbor and understanding about it. It's when we buy a property, and the realtors here know, is buyer beware. You're
Right.
supposed to check to see. You're supposed to see what you can put on the property. Yes, every once in a while, somebody needs something. Couple of feet here, 5 feet there, something like that we approve, but this is very difficult,
I understand.
you know?
I agree, and I think we're all trying to find some sort of a solution to something that it is a difficult one. It is a difficult one. I think we're all trying to help as much as we can to find a solution. Because while we want you to enjoy your home, there are challenges that are faced just with your plot and your area, and there is flooding there. So that's why we're trying to cut down here and there as much as we can. So we have to vote on the
On the
condition.
second amendment. Board Member De La Sierra,
Yes.
Board Member Leoncio,
Yes.
Board Member Julia,
Yes.
Board Member Fernandez,
No.
Vice Chairwoman Matos,
Yes.
Chairwoman Yanes.
Yes.
The amendment passes.
So now we have the amendment to the motion, the second amendment. Can you read the whole thing so we can vote on it?
The original motion that I have here was to approve the 10 by 16 pool with 400 square feet, but then the First Amendment passed to just have 14-foot encroachment for flexibility with a total deck of 400 square feet. And then the other amendment that just passed was to correct the violations and to allow for percolation on the side. You want me to call roll? Yeah. All right, Board Member Fernandez,
No.
Board Member Julia,
Yes.
Board Member Leoncio,
Yes.
Board Member De La Sierra,
Yes.
Vice Chairwoman Matos,
Yes.
Chairwoman Yanes.
Yes.
The motion passes. Thank
You're
you.
approved.
Thank you guys so much. Appreciate
Thank
it.
We have a director's report.
Not at this time. Just thank you for accommodating and coming in out of schedule. I appreciate it very much.
So with that, I don't think there's anything else. Wish everyone a happy holiday, happy new year.
I was
And-
gonna say the same.
Same to you.
Thank you. Chair.
So to
See you
you and your
next year.
family. So thank you. The meeting is adjourned. It is 7:18.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chair. This was very tough. I listened to both of you.
My only issue was just no anything else.
No,
But just on the merits.
I could have voted against it.
How's everything else with you?
Good.
Good. Good. How's your brother?
Split our property.
We didn't hear it, but I heard on the video. Merry Christmas.
That's tough business. Yes.
No, but